Hi, this is Chanel. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about understanding bribes. Okay, bribes. So understanding people who present bribes and people who accept bribes. Okay, so I'm going to talk about both sides of the spectrum. Okay. So first off, when I was growing up in the 80s, 90s, there was a popular ice cream brand that had a slogan, or a memorable slogan, and the slogan was, "What would you do for a Klondike bar?" Okay, so the ice cream company was Klondike, or a Klondike bar, and like I said, their slogan was, "What would you do for a Klondike bar?" Okay, it's important to recognize or pay attention to the way people move. Okay, the way people move and the way, I'll leave it at that. Okay, it's important to pay attention to people. Okay, know what they're willing to do, know what they're not willing to do, and know what their Klondike bar is. Okay, and so when I say know what a person's Klondike bar is, what I'm saying is what do they need? Okay, or what do they long for? What do they talk about a lot? A lot of times you can tell what people need or want the most when you listen to them and watch. Okay, or just pay attention. Okay, you don't have to just sit and watch, but when you just pay attention, you'll know what a person's Klondike bar is. Okay, and so when you those who, going back to bribes. Okay, let's talk. I'm going to talk about first people who present bribes. Okay, 9 times out of 10, if a person is presenting a bribe or is wanting or is approaching a person or a group, and let's go back to I'm going to tie this in with this Klondike bar concept. What would you do for a Klondike bar? So if somebody comes to you and says, or to a person and says, "Hey, what would you do for a Klondike bar?" Whatever your Klondike bar. Hey, this car. Okay, I'll give you this car if you do this, or I'll give you this car if you don't do that, or I'll give you this money if you do this or don't do that. Or sometimes people will jump the gun, so to speak, and they will already do something. So let's say, for instance, maybe somebody pays off or just drops a car off in somebody's driveway, or pays off someone's car loan, or just presents group or gifts, or whatever that Klondike bar is. They present it and say, "Hey, I've given you this, I need you to do this for me." Okay, or what would you do for this? If I were to give you this, will you do that? All right, that's the briber. Now, what you need to understand about a person who presents bribes is 9 times out of 10, if they want a third party to get involved in something, more than likely they don't want to get their hands dirty. Okay, it's dirty. It's a dirty job, and they don't want to get their hands dirty. Okay, because when it's clean, if someone is, people don't give gifts 9 times out of 10 when, well, and I'm not going to say people don't don't make offers that are how should I put it, that are not harmful, okay, for a gift. Because There are. Okay. There are. However, if someone, there are times when people are bribed because the one presenting the bribe does not want to get their hands dirty. Okay. So that's one thing to remember. Another thing to know is that if they are getting their hands dirty, sometimes they need more people to do it with them, for different reasons. Sometimes they may not just want to get their hands dirty by themselves. Sometimes the job requires more than one set of hands, so to speak. Okay. And so they may find someone who is willing to get their, in that type of circumstance, get their hands dirty as well. Okay. And so it's important to understand those two things about the person presenting the bribe. Okay. When it comes to people who accept bribes, okay, I'll say this first. On both sides of the fence, they both lack morals. Okay, so a person who presents bribes lack morals, and the person who, or people who accept bribes lack morals. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, I'm going to keep this a short video. But it's important to pay attention to people. Okay. Again, when it comes to bribes, all right, those who present bribes and those who accept bribes, and I would call it, I would call these people the Klondike bar crew. Okay. Pay attention to how people in that circle move. Okay. I think that I have deleted them all, but I've done quite a few videos about paying attention and the importance of paying attention. But you definitely need to pay attention to the Klondike bar crew, so to speak, but because they're not, people like that obviously are not trustworthy. Okay. Now again, like I said, there are people who say, hey, will you do this for me, and I'll do, and I will pay you, and it's for a good cause. However, if sacrifices, let me say this, I've done a video about sacrifices. Okay, paying attention to, or not really paying attention to, but I just talked about the different ways in which people sacrifice. Okay, so there are people who sacrifice their own time, their own money, their own energy into what feeds them. Okay, for it to benefit them. Okay, so people sacrifice their own time, energy, and money to what sacrifices them, and it does not harm anyone. Okay, there are people who sacrifice other people's time, energy, and money. Okay, they don't want to put in the time themselves, but they want to sacrifice other people so that they can feel good or come up, so to speak. Okay, so they want to use other people for their advantage. Okay. The third group would be those who sacrifice their own time, energy, and money. Okay, so they're sacrificing their time, energy, and money, and they're doing it to help other people. Okay, so the first example I gave was where people sacrifice their own time, energy, and money, and they benefit from it. Okay, so it's their time, energy, and money, and they will receive the payout. Okay, there are people who are, or number two was people who sacrifice their own time, energy, and money. Or I'm sorry, they don't want to sacrifice their own time, energy, and money, but they want to receive a payout from someone else who did sacrifice their time, energy, and money. Okay, And then the third would be the group who sacrifices their own time, energy, and money, and the result is to help other people. Okay, and so, and the example that I gave in the video, in that particular video, was where, let's say a person goes to school to become a doctor. Okay, you go to you go to medical school. You pay your own money. You have spent years of your own time learning this field. Okay, and so you are the one sacrificing your own time, your own energy, your own money, right? And then the payout will be you're helping patients. Okay, and so what you learned will help someone else or other people. Okay, and you will be paid greatly for your sacrifice. Okay, so you'll make great money. Once you begin to work, once you become a doctor, okay, you're helping other people, and you're benefiting from it financially. Okay, and so it's revolving. Everyone is excuse me, everyone is benefiting from your sacrifice. Okay, and so pay attention to sacrifices. All right, who's benefiting from it? Is one person being sacrificed and for other people's benefit or for someone else's benefit? Is everyone benefiting from it, or is one person sacrificing their own time, energy, and money, and they want to benefit from it? I need to. I don't have it with me right now. I'm gonna do a video about. I think I've already done it. I've done one if I didn't delete it. About the so I started a clothing brand, Constructive Graffiti. Okay, and I have sacrificed a lot for in business. You sacrifice quite a bit. You sacrifice a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money into the business. But my brand is to help uplift the customers. Okay, and so anyway, like I said, at the end of the day, pay attention to what people do, the things people do, the reasons they do it. Is it harming anyone? Is one person benefiting and someone else is losing, or is everybody benefiting from it? Okay, and as far as bribes go, can you recognize people around you who accept bribes? Okay, like I said, what would you do for a Klondike bar? All right, whatever the Klondike bar is. The Klondike bar is money. Klondike bar is a house or car, or what maybe a man or a woman, whatever the case may be. Can you see? Okay, can you see? You need to be able to see. All right, so you have to pay attention. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to write any comments, or write any comments and like. If you have already subscribed, thank you for doing so. If you've already if you engage, I appreciate the engagement, and I appreciate you for watching. So again, thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.